NFL Conference Championship Week, only 3 more games remain this season. I have a total of 4 free plays this week, 2 in the AFC Championship game, 2 in the NFC Championship game. That's 2 videos, 2 bets each. I've done 48 of these free play videos this season. I'm 31-17. That's good enough for a 64% win rate. Those bets don't count towards my official members only plays that I post in my Discord. I've made 95 of those official bets this season. I'm 57, 35-3. And these are bets that are all documented, full game spreads and totals only, no player props, posted with bet slips, timestamps, and at widely available numbers at the time of post. Anyone who's a serious bettor knows why those things are important. Anyone with half a brain can beat player props and soft markets, but full game NFL sides and totals are a different story. And this isn't just one hit wonder year or anything. This is my 7th year posting NFL bets in my Discord, and I've only had 2 losing seasons so far. For access to all the bets I make the second I make them, you can join the Betting Network 2.0 Discord. It's free to join, but I do offer a paid membership called Pro Membership. This gives you access to not just the bets I handicap and originate in the NBA, NFL, and MLB, but I also post bets made by professional betting groups I work with. I call these source plays. Through different arrangements, I'm able to get access to these bets made by real pro betting groups. I copy and share them for pro members in the Discord. Just finished the 8th college football season, and the 7th college basketball season is in full swing. As good as the picks provided are, I think the real value in joining the Discord is access to all the betting educational content, over 100 different betting lessons archived on various topics, betting tools, historical trends, betting systems, and much more. DM or comment below any questions about joining. Winning consistently long-term isn't easy. Why do it alone when you can join a group of people all working together with the same goal, sharing information in order to become smarter, more well-informed bettors? Now, with that out the way, let's get into these conference championship games. And actually, before I do that, something I have to start off with saying, I'm not a fan of any team. Yes, I'm from Boston, and by default, a fan of all the New England teams, but that means absolutely nothing to me when it comes to making a bet. I have to say this because it's a concept that I realize is like foreign to a lot of people, especially on TikTok. If I'm making a bet on a team, it's not because I dislike the team they're playing. My only loyalty is to the money I have at risk. I notice people take it personal when I think a team is at like a matchup disadvantage. If that happens to be your favorite team, I promise it's nothing personal. I bet sports for a living, and one of the first things I learned when I started betting 25 years ago was to always leave your heart on the shelf when betting. And one of the ways I'm able to do this is simply by letting the numbers tell the story for me. And when I say numbers, I'm not talking about things like win-loss record or any other surface stat like that. We live at a time where there's like more available data than ever. So, so much so that in a lot of cases, debates between which team or player are better actually have like a conclusive answer, as long as all parties agree to put their personal bias aside and understand which metrics matter and are most predictive, and not just future performances, but how good a team or player has performed up to the present. The downside with so much data is you can kind of make a case or make any team or player look elite with selection bias, focusing on the stat that fits your narrative and disregarding the ones that don't. Okay, now, finally, let's get into these games. When we look at the AFC Championship game, the big storyline is obviously the Bo Nix injury. Normally, at this point in the season, odds makers have a strong idea of what to make both the spread and total. But in this game, it's not so easy because we have a big unknown. What will Jarrett Stidham look like replacing Bo Nix? How many points is it worth to the point spread? Before the Bo Nix injury was announced, some sportsbooks had early look-ahead lines around Denver -1 or a pick'em. Now it's Patriots -5. So the question you have to ask yourself is Bo Nix 5 points better than Jarrett Stidham? I don't think so. And I'm not even going to pretend like I know how Stidham will perform. He's been in the league, I think, 6 years, only has 4 career starts, but I've seen enough of Bo Nix to have an opinion, and I don't think he's an above league average quarterback. He's not good in any of the metrics I think are important when measuring a quarterback. He shows up in just one metric, 14th in EPA per dropback. I know there's some Bo Nix fans out there saying, Lefty, he's top 10 in passing yards and TD passes. He also has the 3rd most yak of any quarterback, so his receivers pad his stats, and he has the 4th best average starting field position of any quarterback because the defense puts him in short fields. But Bo Nix is great in the 4th quarter, Lefty. If he's so good, why does he always have to make comebacks late in the 4th quarter? I thought good quarterbacks have comfortable leads. I bet the Broncos +6 shortly after the line opened up because I don't think Stidham is a huge downgrade from Nix. I think he's a downgrade, but not no 5 or 6 points. I think the line over-adjusted like it usually does when a key player is replaced by a backup. And a big factor, I think, that shortens this gap in ability between Stidham and Nix is Sean Payton. He's probably the best coach to deal with this situation of a backup QB being forced into a spot start. Not only does he have experience in similar situations with Taysom Hill and Teddy Bridgewater, but Sean Payton is just great at taking stress off his quarterbacks. His play calling makes life easier on the quarterback, either by scheming up open receivers for quick first read throws that allow pass catchers a lot of yards after the catch, or leaning on all types of different screenplays, easy throws like bubble screens, middle screens, jailbreak screens. It's safe to assume the overall game plan will be more run heavy, assuming the game state allows it. Can't go run heavy while down multiple scores, but luckily for the offense, the Broncos defense is good. A potential return of J.K. Dobbins could actually be big for Denver. He's probably not 100%, but in games when he's available, the Broncos' pass rate over expectation drops significantly compared to when he's not available. Now, of course, Stidham lacks experience. That's a big concern backing the Broncos, but there's also no recent game film on him for the Patriots to game plan for. And it's not like Drake May is some veteran quarterback either. This is Drake May's first road start in the playoffs. And not too many people outside of like Patriots fans know this, but Stidham was drafted by the Patriots, and Josh McDaniel was his first offensive coordinator. McDaniel actually liked Stidham so much, he took him to the Raiders when he got the head coaching job there. So there's an interesting dynamic there. On one side, McDaniel saw something in him. On the other side, McDaniel might know his weaknesses. I think Stidham will have time in the pocket too. The rest of the team usually elevates their play when a backup plays, but I also think the Patriots defense is getting way too much credit after 2 games versus the 2 worst offensive lines in football. And when I say the worst offensive lines in football, I mean it. They are the only 2 offensive lines that are below the 70% mark in run block win rate, and it doesn't get better in the pass block win rate either. Now, against this Broncos offensive line, that's a legit top 10 unit, this Patriots pass rush will look different. And maybe the single biggest mismatch on the field will be on the other side of the ball. This Broncos pass rush versus New England's offensive line, specifically Nick Bonito versus Will Campbell. Drake May's really struggled feeling this backside pressure. Games are won and lost up front in the trenches. I think the Broncos have winnable matches up front on both sides of the ball. So for the first play, I took the Broncos +6. Patriots finally won't get the benefit of a warm weather dome team traveling to their house to play outdoors in the cold. So give me the better defense at home, getting points. For play number 2 in the AFC Championship game, I'm looking at a player prop I really like on the Patriots pass catchers. The Broncos defense is at its best when facing 12 personnel or like heavy sets, multiple tight ends running fullbacks. They rank second in EPA per dropback allowed versus these heavy personnel groupings, but they drop to around league average when faced with lighter personnel, like 11 personnel, which is 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. Knowing this, we can assume the Patriots will use more 11 personnel. Patriots have 2 primary targets out of 11 personnel. Diggs, 24% target share. Hunter Henry, 22% target share. Demario Douglas has the longest average yards per route ran for the Patriots out of 11 personnel, so he might be the deep threat, which we know Drake May is a big play hunter. The problem is this takes time in the pocket to allow receivers to get downfield. I don't think Drake May will have a lot of time versus this Broncos defense that generates pressure at the second highest rate in the league. I think the Patriots will have to rely more on the quick passing game and short intermediate routes underneath, especially when the Broncos blitz. Drake May targets tight ends and running backs versus the blitz, but the Patriots like to keep Ramondre back in pass protection versus pressure. This leaves the tight end as the primary target. I bet Hunter Henry over 40.5 yards for 1 unit. It would have been a 2-unit play, but BetMGM limits the amounts you can bet on props. So I also have 1 unit on over Hunter Henry 42.5. So for the official record-keeping purposes for the free play videos, I technically have 3 separate bets. Hunter Henry over 40.5 and over 42.5, and Denver +6. Be on the lookout for the NFC Championship game video. I have 2 bets I really like in that one, and should be available by the time you're watching this one. I'm going to stop here. If you watch to the end, thank you. I really appreciate it. Until next time, good luck with your bets.